everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your 7th High School Musical, the series, Season 2 episode review. Finally back on time. It's last week was just no, let's not talk about it. Let's skip for this week. This week, this is probably the true mid-season point of the show where like everything kind of like is now thrown into question. A lot of things are kind of reached like new developments and some new things that even a twist I wasn't even expecting, and I really think this is so far the strongest episode of season 2 thus far, and I'm really excited to see where the remaining 5 episodes sadly is going to take us next. But let's go for the butcher recap because I really want to talk about this week's episode of High School Musical, the series. So we begin with the apparently the not East High's morning show that they just started up because EJ is now working for the AV department, so he's able to get his own show, which is a morning show, and Gina's literally the only person on the planet that was willing to come be on his show as a host, I mean. And despite this being, I found this to be very corny. I'm sorry. I mean, hopefully this is just like the teacher, I forget his name, of like regular morning broadcast, or like hopefully this is a one-time gag and we never get to see this again. But besides that, their first show is mostly based on Nini's recent popularity with her the Rose song, because apparently Carlos released the song on the internet, and it has had a very positive reception. This was exactly not the way Nini wanted to go out, since as last week the context that I forgot about was that because again I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast at all, so now with this episode basically explaining it to me, the Rose song was originally meant to be a duet between Nini and Ricky, but however, because Nini was in a slump, Ricky was being way too overattached, she really wasn't finding the motivation to write this song, so when she wrote it as a solo for herself, it definitely was the thing to get out of it. But however, some of the lyrics could imply that she's a little bit not happy with Ricky because of the overbearingness of him recently. And even Ricky's like trying to brush it off. He's not really focused too much about it, and he's just trying to support Nini, be there for her, and that sort of thing. Even Big Red points it out to him, but it doesn't really faze him quite too much. And then so we get into a midday dress rehearsal, or not dress rehearsal, like a midday meeting for the production. And apparently Courtney has finished the costumes for the show, and based on like traditional standard public high school budgeting, it is very singular, not too many variation of it. Just here's the one singular costume that they're working with for the entire show. And I will say it's pretty impressive, and it definitely gives it credit to what credit's due for this, and Courtney nailed it out of the park. However, the one missing thing about this is that the Beast's mask is missing. They don't know where it is. Everyone's just like jumping the gun, like where could it be? And then of course at the same time, Carlos is noticing on the North High theater group's Instagram that one of the behind the scenes images apparently supposedly reveals that there is the Beast mask in their photo at their school. So, and the fabric's very similar to what they have. So they're just assuming off the gun that they have it. And everyone's just like agreeing with that. It's like, yes, they hate us, they want to beat us, so they're trying to get dirty with us. We should go back, retaliate, and get our mask back. And Ms. Jen's like, no, don't do that. Don't stoop to their level. It's probably not the case. Just look around the entire department. It's probably just got misplaced. Don't worry about it. But these are high schoolers we're talking about. So they decided to take a little field trip to North High, which honestly, I don't know if they went to a new. I think this was a set. I think because I know not East High is technically is like the real school. This feels more like along the lines of, yeah, this is more. Well, upset. But anyway, they're in North High. It's not much different. It's more grayer, more blacker, more fancier, and they all stick out like a pretty damn sore thumb. So they're all there. At least the main group's there. Their priority is to get into the costume room, get the Beast mask, and just get out. just ignore them, just get back what they belong. Gina recommends to be on standout because she feels that if she was Gina before, I guess when we started the show again, then she's gonna be. She wants to go steal them, but she's like, okay, it's better I just stay here. So she does so, and then stay place, and also Ricky does a traditional Wildcats like hand in. I'm like, yo, that is not the thing you want to say when you're in the middle of your enemy territory. You do not want to do that. So they split off. Gina goes behind to stay. Also, apparently, Miss Jen is also on campus of North High to go meet with. Damn, I forgot the guy's name. The other teacher, her ex-boyfriend. She goes to meet him, and of course he's appalled by the fact that Miss Jen is, accusing him that like, I never stole your thing. It's not even my character. And he eventually segues the conversation to their past and how like when Miss Jen and during their final performance at Not East High, she didn't come in for the final performance. She just bailed out. But in reality, Miss Jen only bailed out because she literally saw her boyfriend kissing another girl, so she didn't really want to be in that same environment, so she left. But despite that, they're getting a little bit of like a heated conversation about like, oh, who's the better dancer here? So we'll get to more of that in a moment. And Gina's on lookout. Another like a true North High student notices her and is attracted to her. He's flirting a bit, but obviously Gina knows like she can't get her cover blown. So EJ comes in, pretends to be her boyfriend, and it's actually kind of sweet. Like they're like bonding a bit. Their bond was kind of like very much of a minor you miss it you see it type thing, and it could just be like they could be best friends, but who knows? Who very much know. However, while they're having this interaction, Lily notices them and immediately alerts the rest of her department that they're here. That the Wildcats are here. So we cut to their costume rooms, where everyone's just amazed by the fact that they have such a big budget where like, they can afford multiple racks of clothes, and it kind of brings Courtney down to shame. While Ricky and Nene had kind of like a little bit of an awkward conversation about everything, and it's kind of getting a little awkward between them. But besides that, when Courtney sits on a chest, she discovers that it's the same chest from the photo. But even when they open it, the mask isn't there. But however, before they can proceed to try and get out of there or look further, Lily and the rest of the North High department show up, and they're being very cocky. Like they know what they did, but they're just trying to be cocky. Like in their heart, like they stole it, but they're not gonna admit it. They make some very cliche but kind of funny High School Musical jokes that they should just stick to the status quo and just keep being Wildcats and just do HSM 2 already. But they're not want to back down. They're still holding their ground that they sold the Beast Mask and they want it back. So they decide to have a good old fashioned dance off to one of the songs from Beauty and the Beast. The winner of the dance-off would get the mask, and also kind of like this would be a pre-victory. Like basically, whoever wins this is gonna win the whole musical competition. So they all agree to do it. Meanwhile, Miss Jen and the other dude, her ex, are having this very. It's a cool dance scene. I'll give it that. They definitely use the environment to their advantage. I actually do like. I like this scene. This was like pretty fun. I don't exactly think that this was meant to be like will they get back together type thing, because for me, for Miss Jen, I really don't care who she ends up with. I think it would be just nice if the teacher got to be with her, considering the fact they're two very polar opposite human beings, but sometimes that just works out in the end. I don't think Ricky's dad was going to work out either way because of Ricky, at least during the time of this show. That's what I meant. But besides that, after they do their little dance, it was like really energizing, and it seems like they have the proper foundation to like actually establish like a true working relationship between the two schools. The rest of the Wildcats head over to the North High auditorium room, getting ready. Ricky's just watching from a distance, not really practicing. I don't know why this guy doesn't even try. Lily comes in, and Lily definitely is starting to feel more like the real Sharpay. Their version of Sharpay, where for me, when I was reviewing season 1, I definitely thought that, Gina was going to be this show's interpretation of Sharpay, or that was going to be, this is the Sharpay of the show. And then when we get to continue, it's like, this is a different story, this is a different take on it. Lily has her own elements, but definitely she has like the real like tactical, sneaky minds of Sharpay. Like she's definitely planting seeds of doubt in Ricky's mind, which they are true, and maybe they're just very minute, and maybe they are minute, but because of her words, it kind of like just swells up in Ricky's head, and he wants to now confront it. Also, the French dude, I apologize for my French accent, the French dude from the promos and who is also part of the Northside department is smitten with our fair Belle, our Belle, Ashley. And of course, obviously, Big Red's feeling very jealous because, you know, this guy, he's French, he's snooty, he's better looking, he's better sophisticated. I don't even know what I was doing. I lost my train of thought. At some point, I think it was even before or after they decided I think they decided the song, and also the song they picked out was the Moth song. Again, I have not seen Beauty and the Beast. I have 5 weeks to go. Will I ever see it? I highly doubt it by this point. But however, despite that, they are closing in on so they pick the dance, and Nini's a bit uncertain that she should do it, like, you know, that sort of thing, and that this isn't a good idea for them to be doing this sort of thing, but Ricky doesn't back her up, and everyone just proceeds forward with the dance-off. Nini just leaves in a huff. And they perform, honestly, this was probably the coolest moment of the entire episode, like, to get to see a dance-off between these two schools. Definitely, this is, like, the battle before the final battle. Like, this was just a confrontation, and it was really cool to see, like, our characters and these new characters kind of interact and showcase, like, what's the real difference between them. And there is a lot of differences. There's a lot of striking differences. However, while the dance-off is continuing, and again, I was a really huge fan of the scene. Ashley nearly falls while she was performing one of the dances. The French dude saves her, and that definitely puts Big Red over the edge of his jealousy. But despite that, they just the dance is the flow is over, so they presume that the North High kids win. But the Wildcats are still. Oh no, we get the scene where Miss Jen assumes that we can make peace now. We can like start to like actually have a friendship with this school, but then she accidentally looks through the pianist chair, that little stool section. She opens it up and she finds Ricky's mask in there, indicating that they stole the whole time, and his excuse was, it's a competition. I need to win. That's all that matters. No hard feelings, but obviously, of course, Miss Jen's going to take it, very hard, and she leaves with the mask in a huff. So after the dance-off is over, everyone's just kind of like giving up. They're going to go home. They're going to just now worry about actually doing amazingly well on the play. Lily decides to play a little bit more scheming to the. Damn it, so close. Lily decides to play one more trick on them, trying to innocent, we're gonna win. It's obvious. We won the dance off. We're clearly the better production here. We're gonna win. And Carlos once again brings up hey, we have the Rose song. Y'all don't have that. We're gonna win this just because of that. But however, the twist is, in the Mankey Award, you cannot alter the Mankey approved script. So that big binder that Miss Jen has, that is the Mankey's approved musical version for the play. You cannot deviate from that. Otherwise, you're disqualified. So Nini putting in her Rose song in there is definitely not a good idea, because that's going to disqualify them off the spot. It doesn't matter how amazing the song is going to be at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. They broke the rules, so they would be eliminated had they performed it. And everyone's like, well, maybe we could still perform it. It doesn't matter. We could still pull this off. They'll have to accept us when they hear how amazing it is. Ricky's finally had enough of being the supportive boyfriend and decides to kind of be a little bit more honest, saying that he wasn't a big fan of the song, and that maybe it would be best if we just cut it out entirely. And obviously, Nini's going to take it the wrong way, and she leaves in a huff. Same with Ricky as well, and they all start to depart from North High. Also, another thing to note is that as of this episode, Courtney and Howie are officially dating now, and they have a little cute text exchange noises. It was actually pretty cute, leading into the big the oh my god moment of the episode, where every couple, every pairing that we've seen on the show is very much now being tested, except for Carlos and Steph, because they're perfect. Basically, that's in my opinion. Obviously, Ricky and Nini are going to have a huge argument down the line, and Nini's not happy with Ricky, because not only did Ricky lie to her, and also Ricky was upset. And obviously, the thing is that Ricky uses the phrase of it seems like you want your space, that you want to get some distance from me. Nini never denied it, but she doesn't accept or deny it, which is definitely there is some truth here to it, and it's definitely going to lead to an awkward conversation down the line when we do get to that point. Let me make sure we're recording. Yeah, we are recording. Sorry, I was just making sure. I was doing the Walker review last night, and I was like, "Fuck," because like every minute or so, the footage just stops, and I have to like re-edit everything. So that was the hassle. I was just making sure. So they're in they're in peril right now. EJ and Gina, I mean, are we starting that trend now? That ship? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the ship's always been there, but like, are we actually going to like focus on it? Like, actually get to see them to pair up? I don't think so. I think this is a very close sign of like these two people are like the opposite people of Ricky and Nene, and you know they just get along better. So as friends. So hopefully that's just how it is. That's we won't get to see more of that. Then for Big Red, he's obviously still jealous about the French dude, so he's gonna hold that over Ashley for quite a while, in my opinion. At least for the remaining of this season. Carlos and Seb are like the most unaffected, and Courtney's still very much happy that she's found Howie. They're doing great together, and everything's gonna go well. However, when she texts him, she hears the specific text notification that they set for each other, it like very close by, and it was when the beast. The North High's beast was passing over, and it kind of confirms, yeah, he was the person who was like the mole for North High, since he's dating Courtney. Courtney's telling him everything about the play because he's not involved in it, but now everyone in North High knows what they're planning now because of what Courtney said, and Courtney feels betrayed. Like, you know, she actually liked that dude. It was like the first time she's let someone into her life, and this is the way he treats her. And she just walks off with Nene and discuss how he's like, I'm guessing feeling remorse and feeling like bad that he's done this to her, to someone that he actually cared about, which it does really suck. And then yeah, I believe that's where the episode ends. I believe so. Did we get another scene? No, that was it. Yeah, that's where the episode ends. So like everything is kind of like now like. We got new things to explore, and I can't wait for next week. I really can. But overall, for me, I still think this is the most solid episode of the show yet. The dance choreography was perfect. I love that interpretation. Just getting to see all the relationships like handle this like really big hurdle that like could make or break their relationships, and we just hope that nothing too major happens. But at the same time, like I do want something like, you know, big to happen. But we'll see how that goes. And then I believe that's. I mean, that's all I can think of. EJ and Gina potentially starting up something really that would be interesting. It would be an interesting pairing because I don't really see much. But if they vibe well enough, then I guess like let them be together. If that was the end goal in a matter of speaking. And then I think yeah. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I hope Howie figures it. Howie's in a really fucked up position right now, so he's probably never gonna get back with Courtney. So that's what you get. That's what you get for working with the enemy. That's what you get. So for me, I'm gonna give this episode 2 thumbs up. Best episode of the season. Please, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of this week's episode of the show? Let me know. I'm always down for conversation below. I'm always there. So leave a comment if you want to. So I think that's gonna do it for me, everyone, because I have a longer day tomorrow and a longer week coming up. So I'm gonna try my best to like get some semblance of sleep. Otherwise, I'm so dead. So I don't know where this has been. What's in the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode of the second season of High School Musical, the series. If you want to know what we're doing overall, What's in the Two besides our HSM, TM, TS reviews, we are doing Walker episode reviews each and every Friday mornings after a brand new episode on Thursday nights on the CW or free the next day on the CW app. We are currently on a 3-week hiatus from the shows for the next 2 episode slots for What's in the Tube. For Friday, we are currently going to be doing something new. Well, we're doing a quick impressions next week, regular show, but the week after that, we're going to be doing a new subline in our What's on the Tube series called First Impressions. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be morely announced in the future, but I can't talk more about that till they say the channel. So stay tuned for that. But again, if you really care about High School Musical, you're a lock. We'll be back next week with another episode of HSM, TM, TS, and I'm starting to get really tired of saying that. No offense. Damn it! I was so close. I was like about to fight the yawn, and then the yawn just snipped out. Damn it. Yeah, if you're okay about it, we'll be back next week, Saturday morning, for another episode review. We still have 5 more episodes to go, so like we are still good for the next 2 months. Nothing changes, so do not worry about that. Don't worry. So again, this has been Once of the Tube from ActionX. Please subscribe to ActionX on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Like, favorite, share this review if you want to, but it helps us gets us out to other members of the Wildcats family who has to discover us. Beats up that YouTube algorithm that hates me ever so much, as well as sharing as always for free on the internet. You also want to make sure you ring that bell for notification when our next High School Musical review is live, which is normally each and every Saturday mornings. And also follow us on social media to stay up to date with any sort of update for the channel. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.